Oscar Piastri arrived in Austin carrying more than just a 22-point lead in the standings. He carried the weight of expectation. No longer a surprise, but a demand. After a solid finish in Singapore that sealed McLaren's second consecutive Constructors' Championship, the Circuit of the Americas now waits, a track that once gave him his first sprint victory, and perhaps the place where the 2025 championship will finally begin to take shape. But balance is fragile. Beneath the orange harmony lies a quiet tension that hasn't fully healed since the first lap incident in Marina Bay. Max Verstappen lurks in the shadows, while McLaren must juggle two powerful egos under one roof. "Every weekend feels like the Olympics," admitted Tom Stella, Piastri's race engineer, describing an environment where the smallest mistake can destroy an entire campaign. Austin demands more than speed. Its uphill corners reward courage. Its technical sectors punish the impatient. And under the relentless Texas heat, Piastri brings a silence that unnerves. His unique ability to turn pressure into precision. This is where the story of a season could shift. Who stays calm? Who loses control? By Sunday evening, the answer will be clear. Stay tuned as the duel deepens, because Austin might just become the birthplace of a new order in Formula One. Singapore was where the tension first cracked open. The Marina Bay night, always dramatic, offered a snapshot of McLaren's fragile equilibrium. George Russell led from lights to flag, Verstappen and Norris completed the podium, while Piastri finished fourth. A respectable result, yet one that revealed the friction beneath the surface. The flashpoint came at turn 3. Norris attacked around the outside. Wheel-to-wheel contact followed. Stewards blamed Norris entirely, yet no penalty was issued. There was no shouting, no radio drama, just Piastri's expression in Parc Fermé. Calm on the outside, distant on the inside. "McLaren isn't biased toward anyone," he told motorsport.com, voice measured but heavy. It sounded diplomatic, but behind those words lay fatigue. The kind that comes from knowing equality inside a Formula One team rarely means true parity. Zak Brown chose silence. According to the race, the CEO even cut off team radio during the podium ceremony, a move meant to prevent further escalation. It worked publicly. Privately, it only confirmed what many already suspected, that harmony and Woking now existed mostly in press releases. And when Norris and Brown stepped onto the podium to celebrate McLaren's first constructors' title since 1998, Piastri stayed behind in the garage. The official reason was exhaustion, but internal sources described the mood in his corner as dangerous. Not hostile, but charged, the air thick with quiet ambition and caution. In 2 seasons, Piastri has evolved from the quiet newcomer to a driver capable of bending the system around him. Stella calls it a transition toward brutal maturity. His calmness isn't personality anymore. It's a method of survival in a sport that demands perfection every weekend. He doesn't shout on the radio, doesn't point fingers when strategy falters. Yet every lap, every debrief, every simulator run becomes a form of silent defiance. At McLaren, now back at the top, Piastri has become a symbol of efficiency. He isn't as animated as Norris on camera, but he rarely puts a foot wrong. 2 main race wins, 3 sprint victories, and only 1 finish outside the top 5. That's not just consistency, that's control. It's the rhythm of a driver who has learned to weaponize restraint. Austin, meanwhile, is a circuit that exposes character as much as talent. Its sweeping first sector, a dance of direction changes reminiscent of Suzuka, demands harmony between chassis balance and aerodynamic precision. McLaren's latest diffuser upgrade has given the MCL 38, a composure through mid-corner phases that rivals envy. Piastri understands this place intimately. He took his maiden sprint win here in 2023, resisting Verstappen with flawless execution. He followed it up with a podium in the main race, proving that his style, smooth, analytical, relentless, matches the circuit perfectly. "The corners at Austin make you think 3 steps ahead," he told Media Indonesia earlier this week. To him, that wasn't technical analysis. It was philosophy. a reflection of how he races, calm, strategic, calculating every move in a chess match played at 300 kilometers per hour. Temperatures are expected to hit 30 degrees. Tyre degradation could define the weekend. Norris often struggles managing heat over long stints, while Piastri's gentler touch preserves the Pirellis deeper into races. Tiny details, but in Formula One, tiny details decide everything. Yet the threat outside McLaren's walls remains real. Verstappen's Red Bull arrives with a new floor that boosts low-speed downforce, an advantage in Austin's final sector. His record here borders on domination, 3 consecutive Grand Prix victories and a sprint win last season. But this time, Red Bull doesn't hold all the cards, and McLaren's aerodynamic efficiency and tyre management have neutralised Verstappen's raw pace, forcing the reigning champion into unfamiliar territory, reaction, not control. Then there's Lando Norris. Timo Glock notes the Briton now drives as if he has nothing left to lose, a compliment and a warning. In Formula One, that kind of courage can build legends or implode a team from within. Team principal Andrea Stella acknowledges the tightrope. Managing Lando and Oscar is like running 2 separate campaigns, he told The Guardian. No team orders, he insists, unless absolutely necessary. Fair words, though in this paddock, fair is always a relative term. Zak Brown may be enjoying a $50 million bonus from the constructor's title, but emotional stability is harder to quantify. One strategic error, one misinterpreted radio call, and the delicate structure could fracture overnight. Piastri knows it. That's why Austin isn't just about winning, it's about defining the narrative. McLaren's focus this weekend centres on the sprint qualifying session Friday night, where pole could deliver 8 precious points, a small but vital shield from Norris and Verstappen. For Sunday's Grand Prix, simulations point to a one-stop strategy, medium to hard compounds using the long run to turn 12 as the best overtaking window. In Woking Simulator, Piastri reportedly practiced defending against Verstappen in that exact DRS zone, a detail that says everything about his mindset. Always prepared, not for the best case, but for the worst. Still, risk looms. COTA's bumpy surface can punish the slightest misjudgment in suspension setup, and forecasts hint at light rain on Saturday. The perfect recipe for chaos. Perhaps that's fitting because this season has been built on order teetering above chaos, and through it all, Piastri's silence has become its own narrative. He doesn't celebrate loudly, doesn't seek the spotlight. Every gesture, every restrained answer feels deliberate. Not cold, but calculated. Some interpret that as tension, others as mastery. Austin could turn a 22-point lead into 30, or erase it overnight. Everything is still possible. But one thing is certain, Formula One is witnessing the transition of a once quiet rookie into a commanding force on the grid. And through every twist of this championship, Oscar Piastri walks with the same measured calm, proof that sometimes the loudest statement a driver can make is delivered in absolute silence. So here's the real question. When a driver starts to outgrow the team that built him, does McLaren protect its history or gamble on a future it can no longer control? If you live for stories like this, the politics, the precision, the chaos beneath Formula One's perfection, hit subscribe and stay with us as we watch who breaks first. The car, the team, or the truth.